Good evening, everybody, and sorry I'm a bit late, but I had lost my, what had I lost? I had lost my, my little tripod, and I still haven't found it. So I've had to put you on the big tripod and take away the box that the little tripod usually stands in. So, hi folks, I am recording this on Sunday, the 12th of August. Hi Tracy. Sunday the 12th of August, and it is 2018 if you're watching in the future. Now you see, I'm sorry folks, I'm going to see if I can, I don't know if I can squiggle this, but I've been I've been having some issues. Sorry, I'm late because I couldn't find my little microphone. Not my little microphone, my little tripod. And normally I have my tripod up on a box, and what I've done is mislaid the tripod. So what I've had to do is dispense with the box and the little tripod because I can't find the little tripod. It's around here somewhere, obviously. Hi Janet. Hi David. And so I don't seem to be able to angle this. I've got a bigger tripod here, but I don't seem to be able to angle it. So I had to go and get a cushion because otherwise I'd have been right down here. So, well, actually I'm sitting on a pillow. So I hope that's all right. I hope you can see me okay. I am here. I don't know if I'm going to fall off this cushion. Hi Cameron, hi Katrina, everybody coming in. And what a pleasant weekend. Busy. My goodness, what a full-on week I've had. Some of you will have seen my broadcast earlier in the week. I haven't broadcast on in the 10 o'clock slot, Evening Lou, since Thursday, because some of you will know that I went up to London to make memories. You love my sparkle, I'm glad you do. Actually, I don't know if I'm going to be too hot. I put something on with sleeves because it seemed a bit cold, and now actually I'm not sure if I'm going to be too hot, but if I get rosy it'll only match that. Okay, so there we go. I might have to go and open the window, but never mind. Hi Karen coming in there as well. Yes, so I was on here on Thursday evening, and then on Friday my brother and I dashed up to London. Well, didn't dash, we went carefully, obviously we went safely. At one point we were looking to try and do it on the train, but the train became a train and a coach, and that was all so complicated and became far more expensive. So in the end we took the car, which was a much safer option. We got stuck in traffic. It was a very busy Friday going up to London, but we weren't in too much of a rush. We were on a 12:30 boat, and so we got to the mainland at 1:30, and our meeting in the evening was at 6:15 near Heathrow, family get together. So we had time to go to my daughter's, to have a cup of tea, to have a catch up with the grandchildren, and then we all went out. We went out to near Heathrow, and my daughter chose a pub out there, and oh my goodness, it was beautiful. It was smothered in flowers outside, smothered in hanging baskets and beautiful flowers. And for any of you, if you don't know me well, I love that sort of thing. And so I went outside to take some pictures, and then somebody said, well, why don't you take pictures of you and the flowers? So I did that. Then I went with one of my grandchildren, and in the end it turned out that all of us ended up coming out one at a time, and there was a lovely lady sitting at a table out there, and she said, would you like me to take your picture? And then more of us came out, and she said, would you like me to take your pictures? And in the end she took loads and loads of pictures. Some of them will go up, some of them won't, because we don't put pictures of the children up. That's a family rule. But there are pictures of adults that I will be able to put up. I just haven't had a minute. The whole week has been full on. Some of you will know that I've been dashing around all week. And some of you will have seen that my status said I was absolutely cream crackered. And I'm still pretty cream crackered. And what was so funny, the relations we were meeting, it was my cousin and her children. Now, when I said I was cream crackered, my cousin knew what I was talking about. Of course, it's Cockney rhyming slang for knackered, and she knew what I was talking about. But her children didn't. She had to interpret and explain what cream crackered meant. So anyway, it's not any surprise that it was. Yes, that's right. Oh, there we are. Look, there's the lovely Jo. Oh, that is the lovely lady who was taking all the pictures. Look, Jo's come in to remind me it's the plough at Sipson. There we are. So this is the lovely lady who took all those lovely pictures, and there's Joe. There's a wonderful wealth of pictures you took there. It was so nice of you to do that, and so it was just there were going to be so many memories there to look at. But I haven't had really time to look at them because I dashed back. And those of my Isle of Wight friends or the other friends watching in and who know me well know that I dashed back, and then so we did make our ferry. We weren't sure that we were going to make our ferry because the traffic suddenly got heavy. We'd left plenty of time. It got heavy, but actually it wasn't too bad. And we did make it. We made it in time. Hi, Mark. Nice to see you again. I was listening to Mark. He was being interviewed on radio this afternoon by one of my lovely friends. And so that's great. So I might mention that project in a minute that you're working on. So anyway, we caught our ferry and I came home, and I had last night I was going out to live stream Ventnor Carnival. So on Monday I went to Ventnor I was asked to be a judge of some of the children's competitions, some of the carnival competitions on Monday. And so Ventnor is over an hour away by the bus from where I live, but I don't mind. It's fun. I always meet new people. I always end up with a new Facebook friend once I go on a bus on a journey like that. So went to Ventnor for that on Monday. Tuesday, I think, was a quieter day. I know I got up to some things. Hi, Matt. Oh, and there's lovely Matt. Matt, until yesterday, was just a Facebook friend. And when I was on the bus last night going to Ventnor, this person sitting across from me said, hello, you're Lyn, aren't you? And it was Matt. So now Matt and I know each other. Lots of my Facebook friends I have never met, but now I've met Matt, and it was lovely because he recognised me from the live stream because I didn't know him because he watches in. Hello, Ali. And Ali was a lovely person that I believe, it was Ali that I met on the train, I think. All these wonderful people I keep meeting, and it's amazing. So, yes, so I went to... Monday was I went to Ventnor. Tuesday I think it was fairly quiet. Wednesday was full on. I left Ryde at 10 o'clock in the morning. I left home at 10 o'clock in the morning. I got home at 11:30 at night. I went over to Ventnor. I live streamed the children's carnival. I did some more live streaming. I live streamed the evening carnival, and I finally got home at 11:30 at night. And it's no wonder I'm cream crackered. Then on Friday, so that was Wednesday. Sorry, that was Wednesday. And then Thursday, what did I do Thursday? I can't remember. But Friday was the day that we were going. Oh, yes, I did speak to you all on Thursday evening. And then on Friday, we went off up to have all these wonderful family memories and meet. I went to meet my cousin. My cousin was my bridesmaid in 1972. And when she was I actually, when I got married, 3 weeks before I got married, I had 2 bridesmaids lined up and planned, and I'd made my wedding dress and I'd made their dresses. And Sharon, my cousin, who I've just seen, and her bigger sister, Debbie, they had lived in Australia for years and I hadn't seen them. So I hadn't planned to have them as bridesmaids because I didn't really know them. But they came over 3 weeks before the wedding, and they were so cute and so gorgeous, as I told Sharon this week, she's now 52, and she told me she was 6 at the wedding. I couldn't remember. And they were so cute that I had to have them as bridesmaids. And so hi, Helen. So I managed to get some more matching material for the bridesmaids' dresses, and I made the dresses myself. And they were so sweet, those two cousins of mine. They loved having the dresses fitted. They loved the baskets of flowers they had at the wedding. Hi, Leanne. But ever since then, I've not seen my cousin that often because, she went to live in Australia with her parents. She now lives in America with her husband and her children. And what they do is regularly have holidays where they go off in different places. They've just been to Croatia, where they've got other relatives in Croatia, and what they do is they fly through Heathrow and maybe spend a day or a couple of days at Heathrow and catch up with family members. Well, last time they did it, I wasn't very well. I had my bad leg. I had all my skin trouble in my bad leg, so travelling up to Heathrow wasn't much of an option for me. But of course, since my health got so much better, it was something you couldn't keep me away. So hi, Carrie Ann. So that was just marvellous. So we did have a great time. But and then as I say, I got back yesterday. We got back we were on the 12 o'clock ferry, so that was about 1:30 I got home, and I was absolutely worn out. And I did debate whether to have a snooze, but I have so many things to do, so many things to catch up with, because all the live streaming that I do and all the pictures I take means I have to keep clearing everything off my phone and loading up the videos to YouTube and moving I move all the photographs up to Google Photos. And so there's all that thing. Excuse me, I am so hot. I got to go and open the door, open my window. I'm coming back. I won't be long. I'm back. Sorry, it is just getting too hot. I should have put a short sleeve top on. It's not that cold. I thought it was, and then it isn't. And I'm roasting. Whew. So, and I'm just going to have a swig of my tea, which will probably make me hotter, but I didn't have time to drink my tea. Yeah, so yesterday I headed off. The Ventnor Carnival was set off at 9 o'clock last night. I'm just thinking of the times. Actually, I don't know if anybody's making comments. I haven't refreshed my page to see if you're all there. I've got too many chat windows open. I'll tell you why I've got lots of chat windows open on my computer in a minute. Some of you will know because I've been talking to some of you. Carrie Ann I was talking to earlier, and you will know, oh, it won't shut down. Wait a minute, why won't they shut down? I'll tell you what. Let's shut the Facebook page and open it up again. Let's fool it. Shall we? Let's see if I can fool it. I might be able to sometimes. Right, so let's have a look. There we go. Let's go again. And from somewhere I've got this horrible cold. I don't know that I stood still long enough to catch a cold. Oh, I've got this. Where did they come from? Oh, I think Marks and Spencer's, but some years ago I've got them. I've got two, there's a black set and a red set, and the black one is two like this and two with stripes on, and the red ones have got strawberries on, and they're gorgeous. They're a stacking set, but the red ones I know I got because I went to buy them, and I know it was 2011 because I went to buy them when a friend was with me, and I just moved into this flat, and she said, let me buy them for you as a housewarming present. So that's how I know that it was 2011. And I think these I bought, actually the first set I bought in Marks and Spencer's, and the second set I bought for £2 at some table sale or something. So, that was a real bargain. And they stack. So they, because I haven't got a lot of cupboard space, so they stack, and it's nice. They don't take up too much space on the side. So I'm glad you like my mugs. So I left here last night. I left. Oh, I was on a 5 to. Oh, that's right. I left, and I thought I was going to miss the bus, and then I realised I wasn't. But the previous bus was just coming round the corner, and I wasn't at the bus stop. But it was one of the bus drivers I know. Hi, Diane. One of the bus drivers I know, and I gesticulated to him, and he said, do you want this bus? And I said, yes. So he stopped at the bus stop. He had to pull round the corner, away from the corner, and he stopped at the bus stop and waited for me to whiz along the road and get on the bus. We do have some lovely bus drivers. We also have some that are a bit jobsworth, and I got one of those a bit last night, so I'll tell you about that in a minute. But everything that happens all becomes content for my live broadcast. I don't ever really have to stop and think what I'm going to broadcast about, because so many things happen in the day that become my content. So that was one of our lovely drivers. He's one that, it was Tony. He's one that drives our 37 buses round the estate where I live. It's I'm not the oldest, although I'm not that young. This estate is quite an elderly estate. We do have some children on it, but part of the estate is very elderly. A lot of bungalows with elderly people, and the number 37 runs round round this estate, and they put the same drivers on every time, and it's really nice because they get to know the people getting on and off. And sometimes if I've got offered a different stop, they say to me, but you're not at the right stop. They know the routines of lots of us. And then Oh, I know what I did on Thursday night when I said I had a quiet day, but I went on the Borough beach bike, didn't I? So that was a lot of fun. But because I was going on the beach bike, and it's a bike with, it's like lots of bicycle. It's like a beach hut where it's got, for those who don't know, there's a driver at the front who steers it. It goes along Ryde Seafront, and I had arranged a free networking session on it. But it has no storage on it, and I normally have Lilac Lil with me, my shopping trolley. And for Jo, the lovely photographer who was in the broadcast, she's not seen that because it wasn't with me. Well, it was in the car, but it's a shopping trolley that I put all my stuff in, but it also serves to help me to walk because I'm not so good. But what I had to do on Thursday was actually walk to the bus stop, and it was not the 37. It was the further bus because the 37s don't run at that time of night, and I actually had to allow extra time because I hadn't got Lilac Lil with me, but I couldn't take her because there was nowhere to store her when we were on the beach bike. Anyway, I digress because I was on my way to Ventnor, wasn't I? Oh yes. But this is what I do all the time, isn't it, folks? So I was on the bus, and that was great because I was actually planning to get the next bus, but if that had been late, it might have missed the connection. So I was delighted that Tony stopped for me and let me on that bus, and also it meant I didn't have to stand up for 10 minutes because that bus stop hasn't got a seat. And so, but at the bus station where I was getting the next bus, there's seats, so that was good. So I was at the bus station, as I say, about 15 minutes early for the next bus. And then the next one it takes over an hour to get from Ryde to Ventnor. Beautiful run it is, and in the daylight it's lovely. And so there we were, and then some other people came and sat down waiting for the bus. And then all of a sudden, a whole crowd of foreign language students. They're here, they come to the island, and they're supposed to be learning English as a foreign language, but they're not speaking English, and they were so shouting. Now, I almost felt like I became a grumpy old woman last night, but I wasn't actually, because other people were saying the same. They were standing in the bus station, and now you see, I'm an ex-teacher. I've worked with children most of my life. I love children, but I love well-controlled children who respect adults or respect other people, And this was just not happening at the bus stop. They were all they suddenly became in a great big crowd, and a sort of uncontrolled crowd, so that people were having a job to walk through the bus station. And then, of course, they were obviously going to get on the same bus as me. And I thought, oh, that's great, because they were so loud, they were so shouty. Anyway, they did get on the bus, but we older ladies made sure they didn't get on before us. They were going to, but we'd been waiting. I was sitting on the seat, so I just got forward and said, actually, we were here first. So we got on the bus, and they all got on, and they were shouting, and they shouted for quite a while. At one point, I did say to one of the leaders, can you not actually make them be a little bit quieter? Because there's no need to shout. I don't mind children chattering, that's fine. I love the sound of children's chatter, but children shouting are not so good. Anyway, the guy said to me, but they've paid for their ticket, they're entitled to be on the bus. Yes, this was one of the leaders who actually had no interest in the children and was too busy on his phone. And so, you think, actually, should they be doing that job? Don't know. Anyway, so he wasn't very interested. He also said, well, they're excited they've been to Thorpe Park. But I've had excited children who you could, don't have to shout. They can actually be excited without shouting. Anyway, long story short, the guy didn't want to know. Some of the children had their feet on the seats, which I told them to take the seat. The bus driver wasn't even bothered either. Even though sometimes, not on this bus, but we've had some of those children before, and they keep ringing the bell, which is not okay. And one or two drivers have actually stopped the bus and made them stop ringing the bell. But the driver I had last night actually was part of the brigade who didn't want to say a word. So anyway, also then we got along, the bus was really full, because mostly they go upstairs, these kids, but they filled upstairs and there wasn't enough spaces, so they then filled downstairs. So then when we got further along, there were some other people getting on the bus, and there were some older people, and none of these children offered their seats, and none of the leaders with them didn't do it. So the girl that was sitting next to me, I made her stand up and give an older lady a seat, because, you know, that's what we always did, and that's what I think is respectful. It wasn't fair for the older lady to stand up when the kids were sitting down. So anyway, that was that. When I got to unfortunately, by the time we got to Sandown, or just beyond Sandown, most of them had got off, but they were very noisy, very, very noisy. They were, you know, it was an unpleasant noise. I love the babble of children. I often, you know, if I hear children and I'm in a quiet space and I hear children chatting and playing, I love it. But that was not very nice. Anyway, when we got to Ventnor, I wasn't sure where I was getting off, because of course they closed the roads for the carnivals, and I didn't know when they were going to close the road. Well, the driver actually didn't tell us. The bus driver, it would have been good if he had told us that he was on diversion, but fortunately I looked out the window and saw it said road closed ahead, because he didn't make any announcement. And if I'd stayed on the bus thinking he was going down there, I'd have been going the wrong way, because he reversed up and went round the other way. So there were a few issues last night. I think he should have told his passengers that he was on diversion, but he didn't. And I did ask him about the noise of the children and all that, and he said, "Oh, don't you want them to come to the Isle of Wight?" And I thought, that's actually not what I'm saying. And he reckoned that he had no control to tell them to be quiet. But I think, actually, I'm sure they do. But anyway, that was what happened. Anyway, I got to the carnival and I decided that I was going to forget all that and enjoy the carnival. And so it was, of course, because I had to get off, the bus was on diversion, I had a bit of a walk down the road, but at least it was downhill and not uphill, so that was fine. And because I'd been there, hi Matt, because I'd been in Ventnor the other day, I knew exactly where to go for where they were loading up where they were. And Matt is part of the Newport Carnival team, Nat, who's just come in there, so I knew where everybody was, where they were loading up the floats and where they were going to do. So I came round there and I did a quick live stream as I walked along the road talking to people. In fact, Matt waved at me at that point. I saw him and did a quick live stream on my personal page as I went down there. And then I had to go and decide where I was going to stand to be the best position. I like to be near the beginning of the carnival. Last year I was quite a long way round and I got hemmed in by people who then tried to stand in front of me. But last year also I didn't tell them, but now I tell them because I've got so many of you watching my broadcasts. If somebody stands in front of me, I know you don't want to see their back. And that's actually what I tell the people. I say, "Oh, excuse me, do you mind just moving over a bit, because I'm live streaming and I've got a whole lot of people who are looking at your back at the moment." So everybody's been very, very pleasant and moved when they've realised, and some have been fascinated by the equipment I'm using. Well, I'm only using my phone, but hang on, I didn't get the Facebook page up, did I? I didn't see you. I can't see. Hang on, I can't see any. Comment. I can see. Don't know if anybody's making comments. I don't know if you are, but I can't see it. Sorry. Yes, so I wanted to get a good position this time so that I get the maximum place to show off what's going on. And so, hang on, I've got too many tabs open. They won't close down. I was speaking to lots of people in the chat boxes and I can't close them, so therefore I can't see your comment. I can just about. I'm not going to worry about that. I'll do that later. Yes, and so it was a wonderful carnival again last night. But it was the illuminated carnival last night. But on Wednesday night, I'd live streamed them going around the town, and then it seemed to be the finish of the carnival, but I didn't know they were going around twice. And actually what happened was people stayed lining the streets. And then in a short while, they came back again. So I did 2 live streams. But I think I said the other day I had an issue. I always stream in landscape because it's the better experience for you as the viewers. And so I do the stream, and then at the end I have to push the save button. I save the video to camera roll, and then I also share it. I have to push the share button to save it back to keep it back on Facebook, and had some issues with copyright music on Wednesday night. Facebook was saying, oh, you know, you've got copyright music in here. Do you want to delete the video, or do you want to put it up with the muted music? Well, having recorded it for lots of you, I didn't then want to delete it, so I said, oh, put it up with muted music, and it has muted some of the music through the carnival. Now, last night I live streamed. Now, so what happened is, as I went to save it, hi Sandy, as I went to save it on Wednesday night, I don't know what I did. I wondered whether I moved the camera as I was doing it, because the first trip round Ventnor, part one of the Ventnor Carnival, it posted it in portrait that way, which means that's what, if you look on a desktop, you get those horrible black lines down the side. That is why I always record it the other way. Hi George, and so I don't know what happened. I think I must have moved the camera and tipped it, and it put it up the wrong way, which was a shame, but never mind. I learn from every mistake. Everything I do is always a learning thing for the future. So now as I'm doing now, I always make sure I'm holding it in portrait before I load it. So anyway, last night they went round, and I was just about to, stop the broadcast, and then I was going to stand there and wait for them to come around a second time, when in fact the beginning of the carnival caught the end of the carnival up, so there was no gap last night. They caught each other up. Maybe there must have been more floats or something, and it didn't take us long to get round, and they didn't spread out or whatever. So that was good. So it was just one long stream last night. But of course it didn't start till 9. And the thing is, in the week, I have to be on a bus by 11, otherwise they charge me. I can't use my bus pass, and it breaks my Weasley heart as a poor pensioner. Ah, right, Matt. Oh, look, Matt's given me the answer, because I don't know where it goes when it went past me. Matt said it went the short route last night. That's why. Well, it was delightful that it went the short route, because it was a much better experience for those people on the pavement not to have to wait too much, and more of them stayed. They all stayed there, because on Wednesday some of them went away. So when I did the second stream, it looked like there weren't many people in the street watching, because some of them had gone. That's right. So see, it's always useful to have these people who've got the answers, and it's lovely to know all the ins and outs. I do like to know the ins and outs. Anyway, what's so nice now is that I'm getting to know so many of the people in the carnival. Matt and I connected sort of just before the Sandown Carnival. He messaged me, and then I said, well, when it's the carnival, make sure you say hello to me so I know who I'm talking to. And so we connected. So now every time he goes past me in the carnival, I call out to him. There's lots of people I call out to. Some of them I don't know their names, some of them I do. The Ventnor Carnival team now, small team, but I know them very well. There's Jane, who was a judge with me. There's Janet. There's Shania, who invited me over to do the judging for the competitions on Monday. There's Vectis Humpty, who's Shania's dad, who I think is chair of the carnival. I don't know if he's chair. I don't know all their roles. And then there was lovely Tony, who works. He's on the town council. I think part of the town council, or something to do with the town council, because we were in the town council offices, and I was sitting at his desk, because they looked after me very well on Wednesday with lots of cups of tea, and then they looked after me again last night. So anyway, he'd also been messaged me and said thank you for what you've done for the carnival. And so then I said, well, if you see me, say hello, because I don't know who you are. Say hello to me. He said, I'm the one that wears the red bowler hat. So I was able to identify him. So it's really nice that there's this community. My community is growing and growing, and a lot of it's growing here on on Facebook Live, which is wonderful because, you know, that it's great. The community, you know, it's joining the dots up and bringing lots more people together. And now some of you are all getting to know each other as well. So that was really nice. So I loved it that it caught itself up. So that was great. Thanks, Matt, for telling me that. So anyway, last night, up in the week, I have to be on a bus by 11 o'clock or they want to charge me. And, you know, our bus fares aren't that cheap over here on the island, and so it breaks my Weasley heart. I did manage to get back before 11 the other night, but on Saturday night I'm allowed, as an old age pensioner, I'm obviously allowed to be out playing, because at the weekend there's no restriction on the times. Hi, Ian. And so I was, you know, I wasn't worried about the time. So when Tony, the one with the red bowler hat, said, "Oh, Lyn, would you like to come back for a cup of tea?" I went back with the carnival committee, and some of them were in one room counting all the money that had come in the buckets, and others were doing other jobs in the other room. So I sat in and had a cup of tea. It was really nice to be able to sit and have a cup of tea with them. They've looked after me very well, the Ventnor Carnival team. So, you know, that's a big shout out for them. But it's nice too that I'm meeting all the other carnival people, so I know quite a few of the carnival teams now. It's just nice, and so that's great, and they're all supporting each other, very, very friendly, and of course wonderful for the island, wonderful for showing off the island. You know, we get lots of viewers coming in now. Some of our viewers here now, and I'll call out Janet and Leanne. Janet, I know particularly Janet and Leanne have been watching my live stream since last year. They started watching the carnivals last year, and in fact, we met up recently because I was in Devon. They knew I was coming to Devon, and we decided to meet because we'd never met. They were viewers, and I watched one of the old carnivals last night or whenever, sometime, or maybe, no, it was earlier today. And I noticed Leanne come into the broadcast then, and so you know, it confirmed that they have been watching all that time. So so they started watching last year, and then, as I say, we've become friends. So lots and lots of people. They're in Devon. We've had people in Canada and France and America all watching the streams, and that's just putting our little old Isle of Wight on the map, which was the intention, because it was a bit of a secret squirrel. I mean, we have got some people now doing a lot of drone footage, which is fantastic, because it's all about all of us getting the word out about the island, especially since a lot of our economy is based on tourism. You know, a lot of our people, hi Angela, a lot of our people rely on tourism, on the tourists for their businesses. You know, we've got a lot of hotels here, we've got a lot of different attractions, a lot of businesses rely on tourism. So, you know, the plan is working. It was the plan. When I first started Isle of Wight Live, it was because nobody much was doing any video to show off the island, and it's just like Topsy, it's just grown and grown, and so it's lovely now. And wherever I go, or on the bus, on the train, I have conversations with people who make friends with me on Facebook straight away. And then if I'm on a bus and somebody's just getting off, and I tell them, they say, "Oh, how can we keep in contact?" I give them my name, and I say, "But just tell me that you were the lady that sat next to me on the bench in that park or something," so I can identify who they are when they talk to me, because, you know, all sorts of people say, "Hello, Lyn," and I have these conversations and I say, "Have we met?" And most of the time we haven't. It's because they see me on camera, but of course I never see them. So but it's lovely. It's just super how the community is growing, and now I'm sort of I'm relying on the yes, you see Janet, that's Janet, who's been watching me for a year, and it's her daughter Leanne. They've both been watching me, and she says she loves the island, and of course she shares the island through my camera. She shares the beauty of the island. She can see what I'm doing, and hi Ian, and she also has some family here as well. So you're going to have to come here, Janet, for your holiday sometime, and then you'll be able to meet all the island people who are in the Facebook that say, that say hello to you. And Janet has, I linked Janet and Leanne with Lou, who some of you will know, some of you won't. Lou and his family run the Stitching Elmas, which is a beautiful fabric and haberdashery shop, and wool, all that sort of thing. And I know that if Janet comes to the island with Leanne, they will not go without going up to Lou's shop. But I connected them, and Lou has sold them some fabric. Oh, I'm going to talk about that in a minute, Janet. And so, yes, it's a rather. I will tell the other people because most of them won't have seen it. And yes, and so Lou has been given very good customer service to Janet and Leanne. Leanne asked, I think it was Leanne that asked me, she wanted to make a bag, and she needed some fabric, so a bag, a holdall type bag. And so I put her in touch with Lou, and I put Janet in touch with Lou, and they've been so impressed that not only did they get the fabric and make the bag, they showed me the bag when I was down in Devon, which was wonderful. And then they've also done more business with Lou since, you see. So I have been called the Connection Queen, and that was a lovely connection that was made there. So I was pleased to be able to make that connection. And so that more, the community is growing. Anyway, Janet was, let me just finish off last night. So what happened, because I jump all over the place, don't I? I mean, I'm a bit like a grasshopper, aren't I? I've got a grasshopper in my knitting book. I'm going to make the grasshopper soon. But I haven't done much knitting this week. I've been too busy running around. Anyway, so I got back last night. I got home at a few minutes to midnight because I posted up on my Facebook page. And this is just a reminder of my dad. I get reminders of my dad all the time. And as you can tell, I was very close to my dad. And my dad and I had the same wicked sense of humour, which some of you have now seen. My brother's got the same wicked sense of humour. And that's what Janet's referring to from the ferry. And so, yes, so on my Facebook page last night, as I got off the bus and I was just coming up the road, I put a status up saying, I better hurry home. It's almost midnight and I might turn into a handsome pumpkin. And that was a phrase my dad used to use. So, there's so many memory jerkers, and they're good and happy memories. I never cry. I don't cry that I lost my dad. My dad was 89 and I was almost 60. So I was so privileged to have had my dad so long. Anyway, so I got home and boy was I tired. I was absolutely cream crackered. Not surprising because I'd been running around, ever since. I'd gone up to London. I'd been on the Borough Beach bike, and I'd been on that. I didn't intend to pedal on Thursday night, and I was actually in a pedaling place because there were not so many people. So I pedaled on the Borough bike. I did this all. So really, what I did, I promised myself that I was going to stay in bed this morning until I woke up. And I did wake up, but I stayed there for a long time. And I just sent my daughter a message saying, where's my little girl? This is the youngest. I'm not going to name them because we'd rather not put their names out there. But the youngest of the girl grandchildren, she's 8. And when I stayed over, because I stayed over Thursday night to Friday, my brother stayed in the lounge, and they've got two sofa beds, one in the lounge, and they've got like a lounge, and then they've got a sort of area that's next to the kitchen where the children have a TV there, and that turns into a sofa bed as well. So I went in there, and my brother was in the other room, and my granddaughter she made us cups of tea while we were still in bed. And so this morning I thought, where's my lovely little granddaughter? I just so love a cup of tea. I sent a message, but nothing arrived. But then she is in London and I am on the Isle of Wight, so that wasn't a surprise, was it? So I had to eventually get up and get my own cup of tea, but not to worry. So going back to what Janet's referring to, yesterday we got to the ferry with half an hour. You're supposed to have half an hour to spare. Now, in the low season, when we haven't got all the tourists, you can wing it and you can drive up sort of almost at the last minute. But in the high season, you can't do that. And we knew our ferry was a very busy one. Going out, it was absolutely rammed, jam-packed, but we did manage to get seats. Coming back, it was a very busy boat. But we got there, as I say, half an hour to spare. And so we just went and used the facilities before the boat came in. And that's too much information, I know, sorry. But because we went over to the ferry terminal, I did a bit of quick thinking. And knowing that the boat was going to be very busy, I said to my brother, do you want a coffee? If you do, I'm going to get them here and to get takeaway coffees from here, because there was hardly any queue. So that was a good ruse. That was a very good ruse, because that meant we didn't have to queue on the boat. And so we were waiting for the ferry, and I said to my brother David, I said, I wonder if Dancing Jim is here. Now, some of you will, those of you living on the island might know Dancing Jim. Dancing Jim is one of the ferry terminal operators, the red funnel operators, and he's one of the guys who sends the traffic onto the boat. But instead of, I'm sorry, I'm going to go back like this. Instead of just sort of waving you on like this, he dances and he does all this sort of thing, and he makes it such fun. So he was nominated to be the superstar tourism character. Our little Isle of Wight keeps coming up in all these voting things, and so he was in the running to be the superstar, the tourism superstar. So of course, being what I do, because I got a big community, and because I'm on social, I'm always asking all of you to vote, and I've been doing it again today. But on this occasion, we were voting for Dancing Jim to be the top one, and he was awarded the top slot. So we were pretty proud about that. So of course, because he's now famous, I said to my brother, "Oh, I wonder if he's around." Well, we were loaded into the bottom of the ferry. The ferry's got no, we weren't. Sorry, I tell a lie. We went on at the bottom, but we were on what my dad used to call the shelf. So they put some cars go onto a platform, and then the platform is raised up. You have to stay in your cars until it's all done, for fear of having an accident. So they put you on this platform, and then they raise it up, and then more cars go underneath. And on the other side they have the tall lorries. So sometimes they have I think 2 shelves that come down. I'm not sure. Anyway, we were on the shelf, which meant we knew we were going to be late off the ferry, because if you're on the shelf, you've got to wait for all the cars underneath to go out before they bring the shelf back down. Anyway, because we were up there and we were sort of some of the early people on, I reckon that if we hurried, as we came on, we realised that Dancing Jim was at the other end directing the traffic going up. So I wanted to get him on live stream, and so my brother said, all right, you go on up and he was going to get my bag and things out the car that we needed. So I ran up and managed to get seats right at the front. Well, it's actually the back of the boat, but it was a bit right at the end of the ferry, so I could look over the ferry terminal where we were loading. So I did a live stream of Dancing Jim, and that was the option. So I did that, and then as the ferry pulled away, I killed the broadcast. And I was going to sit and knit and chat with my brother and that. But as we were pulling out, there were some cruise ships in, and there was lots of activity. And I thought, I think this would make a good live stream, because I think people would like to see that whole thing of coming away from the terminal, seeing the cruise ships, even though I didn't know the names of them all. Sometimes people give me the answers while I'm live and I ask them. And so there was all that. And then in the end, I live streamed all the way from Southampton to East Cowes, which is nearly an hour. And of course, my brother is he's a clown like I am, but he's never done live streaming before. But I was sitting there live streaming, and he was sitting next to me. So I said, come and say hello to my audience. And he said hello. And from there on in, it was happy banter all the way. And I could see that the audience was getting very amused, because he has a very dry sense of humour, and he does come up. He's got very good knowledge of a lot of things as well. And so thanks for the love and the thumbs up and all that coming in. And so we were sparring off each other. It was just wonderful. And I'd not been in a situation like that on live stream with him before. And so I said, I think because people were making comments and saying how they were enjoying it and the fun and the laughter, I see a place for me doing live stream with him. And so I hashtagged that. What did I put? the streaming siblings. So I reckon we ought to have a streaming siblings show. So I'm going to try and get him more often. I think some of it would be just about laughter and merriment and fun things, but some of it might be about things on the Isle of Wight, because he's lived here for a lot longer than I have. His wife is actually from the island. He didn't meet her here. He met her in West London, where we used to live. But I think, just soon after they were married, I can't remember how long they lived in London, but soon after that, he would make a great apprentice. That's right. That's what you said last night. Excuse me, I'm just going to have a swig of my tea. He would make a good apprentice, wouldn't he? I've got to get some apprentices who'll do some of the live stream with the camera, because we need more people. Yes, but it was so funny. He was making me laugh, and he was making lots of you laugh, I know. But as I say, he's very knowledgeable about a lot of the island. So, and he's got a car. I don't have a car, so I can't get to all the places on the island. So I said to him, maybe he could sometime drive me out to some of the, the beauty spots and the venues, so that I could live stream, but we could have a lot of happy banter around that. So I'm going to persuade him on that one. At the moment, that might not happen straight away, because his wife is in recovery. I mean, she's doing very well, but about 8 to 9 weeks now, possibly 10 weeks ago, she had open heart surgery. So she's still on that recovery process. So obviously his main thing at the moment, he retired from being the carer for my mum recently, and he's now looking after his wife, so we want to get her well. But she is well on the mend, and she did take a little walk on her own the other day to go and get some fish and chips, she was telling me. And so, so maybe I will persuade him that we'll do that. I mean, I don't know how many we'll be able to do, it just depends. But if I could get some of those in, I think it will amuse a lot of you. And of course, my mission on all these live streams is to inspire, to educate and to entertain, or one of those things to at least one of you. And that's the whole idea. And if we do that, then, and of course, when I make you laugh, you end up making me laugh. So it's all a lot of very, very happy banter, but it was a lot of fun. We did enjoy. I think he enjoyed it. He's very droll. He's very dry. But he just, it was just lovely to see that I thought he'd just pop his head into the broadcast and then he'd want to sit out of camera. But I should have realised he actually, he likes to have some attention sometimes. So I should have realised. But anyway, so there we are. So those of you who saw that broadcast, you know it was fun. So today, what I've done today, because I was so cream crackered, as I say, and that was fun. Those of you who weren't in at the beginning of the broadcast when I said I'd been cream crackered, my niece, not my niece, my cousin, who I was meeting yesterday at Heathrow, that was the reason we went, and we met in a lovely pub. My niece knew what I meant when, not my niece, my cousin knew what I meant when I said I'm cream crackered, but her children, of course, have been brought up abroad and they wouldn't know Cockney rhyming slang. So she had to explain that what I meant was I was knackered. They knew knackered, or they knew worn out, whatever. So anyway, so today I thought I stayed in bed most of the morning, but I was awake for a lot of that time. So anyway, and then I decided to get up and pootle around and not do anything else, not try and go out anywhere to do anything. It's been raining as well, and I thought, I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to just chill. I've got Cowes Carnival on Wednesday, and I don't want to be in a crumpled heap. And I think there's something else on Saturday. I think it's only those two this week. We've got lots of carnivals, you see. So I think. And I think I should be able to do the evening one. The Illuminated is Newport Illuminated on Saturday. I have got an invite out, but I think it's an afternoon through to evening. I don't think it's a late one, so I should be able to make my excuses and get across to Newport. I think that will work. And so I'm just going to pace myself. I've got ladies' lunch. That's once a month, and I've got that on Thursday. But that's at the Garlic Farm, and usually I have a job. I can't get there without... oh, excuse me. Hang on. I can't get to the Garlic Farm without getting a lift from somebody because it's not on a bus route. and it's a way too long walk down country lanes. Yes, I knew it was 9 o'clock, Matt, so I think that will be fine. I think my thing is in the afternoon, starts in the afternoon, so probably we'll finish early evening, or if it hasn't, I will, be able to. And in fact, my brother's going. Aha, I've just thought of a plan. My brother's going. Well, I believe he is. I know he's got an invite, and I know he hadn't answered, but I'm pretty sure he's going. And he comes from Newport. And so if he's going to that, I shall see if I can get a lift into Newport with him if he's going back at the right time. So that's a plan. Let's work on that plan. If not, I'll get a bus. Anyway, and of course, it's not an hour to Newport. It's only like 20 minutes, 25 minutes, not bad. So we'll make the plan work. So, yes, it does sound like a plan, doesn't it? We'll see. Yes, so what was I going to say? Forgot what I was going to say now. It doesn't matter. We're getting to the end. So I'm going to, yes, I know what I'm saying. I can't get to the garlic farm and the ladies' lunch without somebody giving me a lift. So I always have to find somebody who's going and then see where I can hook up with them. Sometimes there's somebody going from Ryde and I can link with them. Sometimes I can't find anybody going from Ryde. But that doesn't matter because it's an 11:30 meetup or 11:30. I can't remember. 11 meetup. I've always got time to get into Newport and get a lift with somebody going from Newport, you see. So, but this time it's in Cowes. I've forgotten where it is, but it's at one of the sailing places in Cowes. And so, of course, I can get there because the buses, number 9 goes into Newport and the number 1 goes out to Cowes. So I will be able to do it on my own without a lift. So that's fine. But that's a nice, it's not a dashing around thing. So I'm going to have a non-dashing around week this week. I will, live stream Cowes, and Cowes isn't too hilly. The thing about Get It this week was the things were in Ventnor, and some of the time I was doing stuff up the hill and getting tired. But anyway, so that's what the plan is for the week. There'll probably be other things. Oh, but before I read out of Butterfly Whispers, what I've been doing today, and some of you will know, is that I've been asking for votes. And I've done a lot of this. I've used social media for social good on loads of occasions, and I've asked loads of people for votes for lots of things, and we have been very, very successful. The first time we ever did it, it was to get a girl who was in an online community that I was in, was wanting to pitch to Richard Branson. She was in the running to pitch. It was the pitch. And to get funding, she was a young mum who had been made redundant, and she was pitching to Richard for a start-up grant to start her own business. And the first time we did it, it was a Wednesday, and it was Wednesday evening, and a call went out in this group to help Maria get the votes in to pitch to Richard, and it was a very short voting session. I found out at, I think, tea time on Wednesday, and the voting closed at lunchtime on Thursday, so that was a very short span. And Marie was standing in 5th place, and she had to be in the top 4. And so what I did, I started I use the chat box. I chat to everybody that I know in the chat box. I see who's online and I pop in. Oh, hang on a minute, folks, the battery's going to go. Let's plug you in. I forgot to plug in tonight. Oh dear. Whoa. Good job, my wires and my... Oh, sorry, folks. I got to move you. There we go. Let's just plug you in. Are we plugged in? It didn't make the sound. Is it? Whoa. If we disappear, folks, because it hasn't made the right noise. So, whoops. Let's see. I don't know if I've got another wire. No, let's hope it lasts. If it goes, I'm sorry. If we disappear, I'm sorry. But usually it makes a noise as I plug it in. But it's not telling me it's charging, and I can't see because I'm on the live stream. Oh dear. So anyway, right. Let's finish off, and then we'll be okay. Now I've forgotten what I was saying. Oh dear, oh dear. I do this all the time, don't I? Hang on. No, I haven't. Oh, I have got another wire. Let's try the other wire. Let's see if the other wire works. You see, when you do live stream, you have to have lots of wires, lots of battery charge. Ooh. And somebody took a lovely picture of me yesterday while I was live streaming. Somebody, one of my Facebook friends. Oh, it didn't make a noise then, so I don't know. We might be okay. Let's see. So, yeah, somebody took a nice picture of me. Somebody who is a Facebook friend, but I haven't met her, and she was in the parade, and she took a picture of me. So I said to her, next time, in the next carnival, let me know, because then I will know who she is, rather than just a name on the screen. And so, there we go. And I forgot what I was going to say. But what I am going to do is, I'm going to read... What is it? Is it the 12th of August today? I think it is, isn't it? Yes, it's the 12th. Oh, no. Let's read yesterday's because, of course, I wasn't live last night. I wasn't live on Friday either, but that's a rather long one. Let's read yesterday's. Never draw the curtain on the window of opportunity. How many of us go through life blinkered by the world around us, never knowing its true beauty? Do we appreciate the amazing opportunities out there all day, every day? They just go unnoticed. Never draw the curtain on the window of opportunity. Keep your options and eyes open and keep an open mind. Opportunities will present themselves to you. Once you start to become aware of opportunities, they present themselves more often, and before you know it, you're looking for them daily. And I certainly do look for opportunities, and I find them all over, you know, on a daily basis. And so this is out of Butterfly Whispers, my lovely book here. And the 12th of August, which is today, I believe. I think I've got that right. If friends were flowers, I'd pick you. If every time I thought of you, I planted a flower, I would walk happily in my garden forever. Those are two wonderful sayings I've come across over the years. They came to me just now as I looked at two beautiful bunches of flowers given to me by two darling friends. Do you think of yourself as lucky to be able to choose your friends? Do you appreciate that people come into your life for a reason, a season, or a lifetime? Are you grateful to have someone special, flowers in your garden that make you smile and help you know what it's like to be loved? Who are your flowers? Do they know how special they are? Well, of course, I've got some of my family are my flowers, but I think all of you are my flowers too, because I love it when you come here and join me in the broadcast. And then I love it when I actually meet you in person as well. And there are a lot of you now who were just on here, and now I've met you, and it is my garden. I live in a flat and I don't have a garden, but you are my flowers, my friends. There are people who come in only for a season. I have had some people come into my life and make it difficult. And what I do is now I back off from people who are negative, because if you hang around with negative people, they're just going to suck you down. And I've got no time left in my life for being sucked down and being miserable, because, you know, there's too much going on, too much fun. I'm having tremendous fun running around doing all these carnivals, running around having these fun chats with my brother and all these sorts of things. So I'm going to carry on doing that, and I'm going to choose my friends, or, you know, anybody who comes into my life who is making things difficult. I'm going to give them as wide a berth as I possibly can. And that's another plan, Matt. So we have some plans made tonight. So anyway, I haven't got too many plans for this week, other than the biggest plan is to actually recharge and refresh, because, you know, I was weary, but I wouldn't stop. I wouldn't not go, because I know that you love the broadcast, but I love it as well. So, and I've not recorded Cow's Carnival. That's a new one. So I'm going to enjoy that. I need to work out even where the route's going, but it can't be very difficult because Cow's isn't very big. So anyway, so I'm going to love you and leave you now, and probably go to bed fairly soon, because I do need to refresh and recharge. I'm normally a 1 and 2 o'clock in the morning person, but I think maybe soon I ought to go and get a bit charged up, ready for the week ahead. So thank you. Yes, that's it. Well, I hope you haven't been bored with my broadcast. I hope I've entertained you a little. And sometime, Matt, we'll have to do a split broadcast where you can come in and talk about the carnival, because I can see you have a little green camera next to you, and that means that I could invite you into my broadcast. So, you need to let me know privately if you're up for that. And if you're up for that sometime, I can bring you into the broadcast and we can have a chat about the broadcast, about the carnivals and things like that. And anybody else who wants to come on, so it's not just me on here. I used to do a lot of interviews and I seem to have dropped off. There we are. We must do that, Matt. So, okay, next time, I will do that. Night, Janet. Lovely to see you here. See you again soon. God willing, I will be on tomorrow night. I don't think there's anything planned for tomorrow night. Not that I know. Anyway, last Monday I thought there wasn't anything planned and I'd totally forgotten my Ladies Isle Star 50 Plus group. But never mind. I know what I was going to say. Before I go off, Mark came into the broadcast earlier and I said, "Oh, nice to hear you." Now Mark is the minister at my brother's church in his Newport Congregational Church. And today he was on the Island Radio with Trevor Blaney, who runs the soup kitchen, and they were talking all about the soup kitchen, how it had just started, how Trevor has set up the soup kitchen, and feeding the homeless, taking soup out. Hi, Ian, taking soup out to people. To feed them. And the exciting thing is they've got a shop opening. So there will be a shop opening in Newport High Street soon, which is very exciting. So I probably will go and live stream down there. And then they're going to teach people to make soup, and they're going to have soup school. So they're going to teach people to make soup, but also what it is, they're running a cafe. This is the exciting bit. They're running a cafe made out of waste food, but I don't mean food that is gone past. What happens, of course, is that a lot of it comes to its sell-by date, but not its best before date. And so Trevor has organised with people to get that food at that point when it's best before, and cook it up and use it before the sell-by date, and then cook it up before its best-by date. So it's still healthy food. And I am so delighted to see this, because I was horrified some years ago when I knew that supermarkets were putting food in skips and then putting bleach on them so that people couldn't take the food out. And to me, that was absolutely criminal when we've got so many homeless and hungry people. And I did do some work with the hungry and homeless for some years, and managed to use, again, that was a social media. I know where I was. When I went off the tack before, I was talking about social media for social good. I'll have to talk about that in the next broadcast. It's getting too late now and people need to finish. But I did use social media for social good in getting food in. I think that I might make that the subject of tomorrow night's broadcast and tell you about the times that I've been doing that. But before you go, the reason I was doing that was because I want you all to vote, and I've been asking loads and loads of people today. I want you to vote, and I'm just going to put the link in. I want you to vote for Ride Carnival. If you haven't done already, we are trying to win the top carnival slot, be voted the best carnival in the country. And it's Ride Carnival is the only one on the island that's in the running. So if wherever you are on the island, if you've got affinities to different places, it doesn't matter, because there's only Ride is the only one. Hang on, I've spelt this wrong. Wait a minute. Let's have a look. ridecarnival.com. And what I'm trying to say is that we need public vote, and we need you to hop on there, scroll down, and you will find where it says vote. It will take you to the voting site. We are in the second position, but we are about 500 and something votes short of the next one. Now, I know that at least 50 people have put votes in tonight, because I've been talking to everybody and they've been telling me they've voted, and I've been, and you can actually see the votes going up. But we have till the 21st. But what's important is that you all vote if you can, if you're happy to vote, but also get your friends to vote. But what I found, my experience in the past, is if you just put the link up and put a message saying please vote, people don't always do it. If you actually go and ask your individual people, like I have, so that's why I've had all my chat boxes open, because I've been talking to about 10 people at a time, saying, you know, having a chat, catching up with them, and then saying, please, can you vote? And please, can you ask your friends to vote? And I'm prepared to do that until the 21st of August, as many times as I can. I've done it for lots of projects. I'll tell you about all those projects perhaps tomorrow night. But let's see if we can narrow that gap. The only thing is, we were narrowing the gap, and so we have narrowed it a bit, but the number 3 has been catching us up. So they're creeping up behind. So we're the meat in the sandwich at the moment. So we need to get all those votes. So if anybody can go on that Ride Carnival link I've just put up and vote for Ride, and tell all your friends. And if you're in any groups, tell them all. I'm going to go and find as many groups of people as possible where they can, you know, perhaps they can all share in a big group. You know, I need to do it, you know, get a lot of votes in quickly. So if any of you can help, that would be great. Anyway, I'm going to go now because it's getting very late and I've detained you, and I went off at a tangent because I always do. You know, I'm like a grasshopper here and there, but I have fun. I hope you do. I love you lots. You are the flowers in my garden. Do come back soon. Bye for now.